Hello and welcome back to update number 13 of rebuilding my chili line in HOn3. For our last update, which was number 12, I was doing a walkthrough of Antonito and just showing the start of construction on the line south. Since then, I have finished laying the rails for the Chama staging and the line south chili line towards Santa Fe. Currently I have track completed to just south of Servieta, and we'll follow that here in this real brief update. We're approaching the station of Tres Piedras. There will be a trestle in this location, as well as we have the Tres Piedras water tank. And a little further down the line, we have the Tres Piedras station. Here in the foreground, you'll see a curved turnout that I scratch built several years ago for my old layout, and it was really damaged during the move. However, I was able to salvage it, re-gauge it, been doing some test runs, and should be operating fine in the future. I'm using the Bullfrog switch machines here. You can see with the throw rod that I explained in the last video. Anyway, we will head south past the Tres Piedras station. I am still working on the location as close to the prototype as possible where I would like the stock pens. Be somewhere in this location. And part of the old layout here, you can see I salvaged and reused it in this section. Heading south, we have new spline, new cork sub-road bed, ties are in, the rail is in. And we will approach the station at Servieta. With the large stock pens, the two box cars, station and crew quarters. That is completed. So we'll continue heading south from Servieta, around the corner towards Taos Junction. Taos Junction is across the aisle behind me. The aisle width here is just about 4 feet, so it's plenty of room. This is the current end of track, and just the last couple days I've finished laying the cork sub-road bed, putting in 3/4 inch ply for Taos Junction. I laid out the cork road bed, positioning the switches. I also dug out several of my old buildings. Some of them were placeholders, just to kind of get a test on how this scene is going to look in the future. As we head south from Taos Junction, the line continues to where it will divert the far track towards La Madera and the staging yard there. The track in the foreground will head down Barranca Hill. Just to the left of this scene, there was the water column, which I'll have in place, as well as the cistern that still sits today off of where the La Madera branched away from the main line. There's a telephone booth that was between the junction of the La Madera branch and the Taos Junction yard. Taos Junction was a 3-track yard. Siding for the station, the middle track is the main, the outside here is the siding. I worked quite a bit on getting Taos Junction to look the way I wanted it to. Originally the tracks were a little farther back towards the backdrop, and it seemed like it was going to make it two things. Number one, the background buildings there really wasn't sufficient room for them. And secondly, it was going to be a lot harder to switch this area because of a bit of a reach. So the width here is 24 inches. My previous one was about 18, so it was a little bit different there in placing the track. As you can see here, the La Madera branch train will bring in the combine, and then the branch power will head down the hill to Barranca, from Barranca Hill down to Embudo to be the helper for the northbound train 426. So that's update lucky number 13, where we're at today. My next projects are getting all the switch machines built. The switches DCC friendly. I'll put those in, and then I'll put the switches in after that. It's a lot easier to run that actuating wire up through the switch, put the switch down on the wire, versus trying to fish it in from the bottom. So a little tip that I've used over the years. Anyway, that's where we are at. We're in Taos Junction, New Mexico. We're getting ready to lay the rail, and we will head south to join the line down at Embudo. Thanks for watching Update 13. Hopefully the next one update will have some trains running in this section, so you can see that yes, actually trains do run here. So thanks for watching.